Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Kay Welsh, and this is my colleague Victoria. And your names are?
My name is Manuel.
Manuel.
I'm Jules.
Jules.
And my name is Tiago.
And Tiago. Could I have your mark sheets, please? First of all, we'd like to know something about you. Where do you live, Manuel?
Well, I'm here from Spain, and I live here in Madrid, mostly in the outskirts of the city.
Uh-huh. And you, Jules?
I live as well here, but I live on the heart of the city.
Uh-huh. And you, Tiago?
I also live in Madrid, but I live in the leafy suburbs.
Are you working or studying at the moment?
I'm currently studying. It's my second to last year of high school.
And you, Jules?
As well.
Mm-hmm. And you?
Same thing.
Okay. Manuel, what would you say is special about your hometown?
Well, I'd probably say the complete lack of noise, because it's actually quite peaceful around my area. There's usually little to no cars, and the peacefulness really helps you concentrate with certain things.
Mm-hmm. Jules, are there many opportunities for you to speak English in your country?
Yes, I think they are. Mostly in school, but as well in order to communicate and create new friendships with people all around the world.
Mm-hmm. And Tiago, apart from English, what other languages might be useful for you to study?
So I think having a little bit of everything is useful. I speak Portuguese, and I have plans to continue studying in Brazil, so that would be very useful. It would very much come in handy to me.
Thank you. Now, in this part of the test, you're going to do something together. Here are some pictures of people in different situations. First, I'd like you to look at pictures D and E and talk together about what might happen in the next 30 minutes. You have about 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I interrupt you.
Okay, so firstly, we see a father and presumably his child, and they're going on a biking ride, and they're all wearing helmets, and it looks like they're in a rural town, or at least they've gone away from the city.
It also seems that this might be a normal daily activity that they perform, or maybe it's something special. Maybe they're out for a trip that they're going somewhere special, or going to take a hike maybe.
I see your point. I think maybe they might stop somewhere near, because it looks as if they were on the countryside, so maybe they're just going to make stop to have lunch or something.
Yes, maybe it's something they do for fun. We also see a man with a camera and a lot of parts on the floor, so maybe that's his hobby as well. And we can gather from these pictures that maybe these things are different things that people do for leisure time or just to have fun.
Well, presumably, I think it's that he's actually trying to fix the camera, and that's why he has all the spare parts on the floor.
Or probably it might be a new camera and he's trying to set it up. I do see your point, so maybe he's trying to start a new hobby.
Yes.
Instead of already being a permanent one.
And the settings are also very different from one another. You can see the contrast between the trees and the high skyscrapers. So I think it contrasts the different hobbies that we can have today. We live in a age where we have open access to really big cities and metropolitan areas, but also the quiet countryside.
Thank you. Now look at all the pictures. I'd like you to imagine that a television documentary series is being planned on the experience of learning. These pictures show some different ways of learning. Talk together about how effective learning can be in these different situations. Then decide which approach to learning should be the focus of the first program. You have about 4 minutes to talk about this.
All right, so we can see here a group of people, and they're at an archaeological site, and it looks like a tour or someone who knows very much about the topic is instructing them and pointing to the walls and the glyphs. And so that's more of a way of, that's more expository, whereas you can see, for example, in a couple of chefs and they're working on dishes, and I think that's more hands-on.
I do see your point. I think it's more of a first-hand experience, and it's a great way, in my opinion, to get to like more comfortable with a new activity.
Well, while I do agree that a hands-on experience does allow for better learning, I also believe that actually working more directly with each person and actually assessing their doubts and what they have to say about what they're learning can help them gain a better understanding of what they're actually learning.
I do see your point, but I do think, for instance, parents helping their kids to learn new skills is really useful, and it's a better way for them to get to know the activity without getting into much risk.
Yes, but there's also another way of learning, is there? For example, now with a lot of access to the internet, we can just search up tutorials and look everything up on our own. So maybe this person fixing or building, making his camera, presumably he's watching a video or at least has some instructions. So I don't think that should be ruled out as well.
Well, I also believe that finding the correct source of information for when you're searching up these videos or tutorials is crucial to the learning experience, because if you don't search up the correct tutorial, or maybe a tutorial that doesn't go that in-depth into a subject, it may give you a different view on a certain subject, and it might alter your perception.
I do agree with it, but I also think maybe just fidgeting around with, for instance, in this example, the camera, it can be as well a really useful way of getting to know it. And just without any like tutorial or instructions, you can get a good like idea of what it's like, and then you can develop on the subject with, as you said, like some type of external help.
Yes, I see what you all mean, but in my opinion, I believe that a hands-on experience is the best way to learn how to do something. So chefs making a dish, you're actually preparing something, and so you know what you're doing and you remember the steps from this procedure so you can put them to use next time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think we do all see eye to eye, although we shouldn't forget about the other types of learning experiences, because they, I think, all together might be the best.
Yes, like you said, Manuel, maybe private teachers, they can help you assess your doubts more closely, and I think that appeals more to the individual. But if you're looking more at the experience and the product you're making, then I think, yes, the hands-on experience, working together with other people who are doing the same thing that you are, I think that's the best way to learn.
Hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.